Hello, guys. This is Shar. Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for returning. I have not been around. I've been having family issues of my own, okay? Just like Kiki and Letitia, just arguments and the drama, So I've been dealing with that for the last 2 days. It just really kind of broke away from it today. But I want to talk about this episode. So I don't do like full-on reviews. I'm just talking about certain scenes and certain parts and certain things that were said. Because, the episodes be too up and down now going forward. I mean, one majority of the episode be dry. And then this part be interesting. And that person said this and that person said that. So I'm only talking about the parts, of interest, the juicy parts. And obviously, this episode was juicy because it picked right back up at the barbecue at the Scott's, right? So it left off with started off with Kiki throwing that, I think it was a big cup of water, honestly. I don't think it was a drink. However, it may have been a drink, but if it was a drink, it was a big cup of a drink, because it was a big cup. She got drenched. It was like she doused herself down in water. She was like, like she came up from some water. That's how it was a lot in that cup. So that was funny. I mean, she was wrong for doing it. I mean, because it wasn't called for. Okay, she owns up to that. But we cannot lie that it was funny, especially when she gasped for air, like she had came up out of a pool. I was like, dang. But it pissed her off because she was ignoring her for the most part. You're going to hug my husband, but not me. Okay, I can't stand that. I got a boyfriend right now. I always tell him, if I'm beefing with a girl, one of my friends, no interaction. Period. If she can't say nothing to me, she ain't saying nothing to you. I'm you me, period. But, I guess if she throw up her hand and he want to throw up his hand from afar or whatever, But you ain't coming up to my man, hugging my man, and then going to ignore me. I don't give a damn what's going on. If I'm right or wrong, you can't say shit to me. Don't say shit to him. But so I get that. And then you constantly always getting mad at me about stuff, but you ain't getting mad at the man who the stuff is about. You want to try to put this on me, and to be totally honest, we ain't gonna never know who's the real or what's the real origin between Kiki and Letitia. Let's just start there, because they cut from the same cloth, okay? Letitia's mama is Wanda, and Miss Wanda is Kiki's first aunt. They cut from the same cloth. They got a lot of the same qualities, you know what I mean? So that whole issue with their family, what Kiki was talking about with their family, and how Miss Wanda tried to draw a line between them, one better than the other, using all that mess against each other, putting them as, what was she doing? Like trying to pin them two against each other all the time. We will never know the root of the issues between them two. I guess, you could say Miss Wanda started that mess, and then it fell off to the kids, because we all know that, or we assume that Miss Wanda probably raised Letitia kind of wrong. I mean, she probably raised her the best she could, but because Miss Wanda is ignorant, she kind of probably got raised with some stupid values and some stupid ways of thinking and some stupid ways of being. And unfortunately, we see that in Tisha every single episode, on how she throws rocks and hides her hand. She always thinks because someone is indifferent from her or questioning something she's doing or didn't do, she thinks that's jealousy. No, boo, it's not jealousy. Just because we want to find out what you did or what you didn't do, backtrack your steps to, just to ensure that you was on the up and up and everything was copacetic. That's not us being jealous of you. You know what I mean? So, yeah. So we see firsthand how she probably was raised by her aunt. But as far as Kiki and Letitia, I'm 50-50 as it relates to those two and their relationship. I'm 50-50. You just don't know if Kiki is the culprit all the time, and you just don't know when Letitia is the culprit all the time. But best believe it, Letitia is the culprit sometime, because we see how she moves. We've seen that from the inception of this show. We know how she is. We know how she moves. Her and her husband is dishonest as AF. Like I have said before, I used to think he was a smart one, but he about dumb as her at this point. He is. And he thinks he's so smart. Just like my pastor have always said, anytime you're around somebody who think they know everything all the time, they the dumbest person in the room. And that's Marceau. He's the dumbest person in the room. Because he think he's smarter than everybody. And the only person he's smarter than is probably Letitia. I guess. I mean, if she wake up and get his drawers from under her nose, I mean, because she's literally wide open for her husband. And that's a beautiful thing. But you got to wake up and smell the coffee. You got to wake up and really see what's going on. Everybody ain't lying. You keep hearing the same rumor or similar rumor about your husband cheating, this, and that over the years. Girl, it ain't no lie every single time you hear it. It's some truth to it. It's some validity to it. Check it out. Like Mel told you in season 1. Put them kids with a babysitter and roll down to the bar. They ain't had Black at the time, but some other bar he was hanging out at, where him, Martell, and Maurice used to hang out at. And that other little fool, the light-skinned one that used to wear the braids in his hair, that other country bumpkin, I can't think of his name, Laderick or whatever. Laderick or whatever. Well, not Destiny's husband, Laberic. That's Laberic. His name was Shadar or Tadar, whatever. Him. All of them used to hang out at that bar, doing whatever, picking up linebackers. So yeah, everybody ain't lying, Letitia, all the time. Dodo brain, girl, she's in denial. She don't want to believe Ish. Not only, I mean, and you said in season 1, the reunion, if God wants to reveal it to me, he'll put it in my lap. Okay, he putting it in your lap, girl. The man then came to the girl house or called the girl phone, Kiki. He didn't call her or came over or however he contacted her and told her, dig this here. You know, my girl then sat up here. I didn't call her in the lie. She had an affair or a threesome with your cousin's husband, whatever. You know. But again, grain of salt, because we don't know if Kiki is always on the up and up. We just don't know. I'm sorry, but we just don't know. We just don't know. With them, it's 50-50. 50 chance it could be true. Kiki was accurate. 50-50 chance she's not. And that she's just trying to make life difficult for Letitia. So, that's just that on that. Okay, so we go to the fight or the dispute, the debacle that could have turned into a real fight. Now, she threw the drink on her. She immediately got up, walked away because she didn't know what was going to jump off. She really didn't know if Letitia was going to actually try to swing on her or whatever. She didn't know if Marceau was going to do it. I mean, the best thing to do if you're going to swing and move. It's like how they say, stick and move, yeah, that's what she did. She swung, which was the cup, and then she got up and walked away. And when she did that, everybody jumped up. Marceau jumps up and said, she threw a drink on Letitia. You know what? Put her out, and call the police and have her drug tested. That's what pissed her husband off, Kiki's husband off. I mean gets up like, what? You gonna say that about my wife? That's something you've been thinking all the while. How you gonna say that about her? That's disrespectful. That's rude. She ain't know nothing. She clean, Okay. So, Maurice, with the Scott brothers, they every time they want to celebrate, they go get a damn cigar. That's their way of feeling. I already told y'all in one of my other videos, I think it was that video they had the Lambos, the rented Lambo. And the Fletchers had the Lambo. They had the rented Rolls, but they get them the cigars. Okay, that makes them big. They make them feel big and strong, and like they balling, and they really not. So he has a cigar in his hand, trying to get around to trying to keep him from getting at Marceau. Marceau backs up and jumping around, tiptoeing around, jumping up out the way. Trying to get away from That's not the Detroit way. Okay, but I've already told you guys, they're not from Detroit. They're from Pontiac. Pontiac is a different world. Okay, different world, different mentality. And not to say people get their butt kicked from, and be from Detroit every day, But I'm just saying they do not have Detroit mentality at all. They do not have Detroit men mentality at all. I don't want to say the N-word. They do not have the Detroit N-word mentality. They just don't. They don't. They do not give off Detroit N-word energy at all in any kind of way. The hustle way, they don't hustle like Detroiters. They don't have the mindset like Detroiters. We get out the mud and we learn some ish and we learn it and we do it and we make good at it. You know what I mean? Meaning if we can learn a skill, contracting and all this, whatever it is they do, we're going to do that ish and we're going to do it to the fullest. Now, we might not be licensed. A lot of us, we might not have our paperwork together, but we doing business and operating business accordingly, just like anybody who got all their paperwork in order legitimately. And we doing it illegitimately or illegally, however you want to say it, but we doing it to the fullest. We doing it to the best. We doing it with the best of them. That's a Detroiter. That's just, you know what I mean? That's just how we think. I might not have this and that and this and that and this and that all together. All my papers are together, but I'm doing it just like I know plenty of girls that did not go to hair school, but they doing hair like any chick that went to hair school, doing hair beautifully, got tons of clients, then bought a shop, got a hair salon, all this, starting manufacturing products, taking it to the fullest. Ain't went to hair school not one day. Seriously. So they do not have Detroit people mentality. The Scots don't. They just don't. And him jumping around and bouncing out the way and all of that, he was doing it like a bee. Just like Stormy caught him out on, 2 episodes ago. You acting like a bee. You jumping around and jumping back. Stand up. Stand up for yours. You want to talk mess? You want to sit up there and take a shot at my wife and say she was on dope, get a drug test in front of me? Then, deal with what come with that. He didn't want to deal with that. Knowing that the producers was there, it wasn't going to be too much of a fight. No way. All the producers are there, all the stage hands, all the security guards for the show, all that. They wasn't going to let that happen. Not for real, for real. A couple of shots, not shots, but a couple of hits might have got swung or whatever, but y'all wasn't going to be in no drip drop fight for real. But he don't want to get touched at all. Like a bee, just like Stormy said. But the thing is, Kimmy, I didn't see it at first, but everybody was like, oh, Kimmy got one on Kiki, she pushed her. And I saw it. She did push her, because all Kiki was doing at that moment was talking mess. It was like how people do in the middle of an argument. They yelling, they screaming, they trying to talk over each other. So they talking with their hands, they talking with their body while they moving either sideways or backwards or forward. It wasn't like she was really charging at anyone. She wasn't really charging at Letitia or Marceau or whatever. She did walk from one side to the other side, and I understand that, break them apart from there because they don't know where she's going or whatever. But you didn't have to push her. You didn't have to push her because she kind of shoved her shoulders a little bit aggressively when your husband, Maurice, already had Kiki, had his arms around her. So why did you have to push her, Kimmy? And Kimmy, I don't know, just like a while ago, we learned that someone had a talk with Letitia. I've said it in one of them older videos. I'm like, yeah, she bossing up now in terms of her demeanor. Bossing up like a boss, for real. But like she's talking more. She's defending herself more. She's a little bit more vocal, a lot more vocal now in this season. But a few episodes back, we saw her progress from being like not timid and not saying much and all this and that to now she's saying a lot more, speaking her mind, this and that. And we learned later on that Carlos King did have a talk with her, like, girl, you need to stand up for yourself and do this and do that, and you this, and you Letitia Scott, and you got 2 degrees, and you got a master's, and you this, and you just as much as anybody else on here. Okay, yeah, you are. But when you constantly lying, Because that's what her and her husband do. Constantly lie. He constantly gaslights. And they constantly hide the truth. That's what the Scotts do. That's exactly what they do. So when her and her husband Marceau, Letitia Marceau, was in, I guess, one of their work sites, honey, whatever. They don't go into detail about where they be at and standing at and what's what. They had a camera, people come up to a building, whatever. But anyway, when they were standing up in there talking, and Marceau said that people called the cops saying they was having a real life casino night or whatever. And Tisha gave that song, and then like, I don't know why people trying to hurt us. I don't do anything to nobody. No, you constantly hiding your hands, throwing rocks and hiding your hands, and y'all ain't really helping the community. I mean, maybe eventually y'all will get to the point where y'all help the community, but y'all use a lot of these things to get money for y'allself, to fund your own life. They do. And y'all not running with the who's who, hobnobbing with the who's who of Huntsville, people that are up there in the business world. I've been told that people don't even know the Scotts outside of the show. I mean, they know them from the show. Yeah. That's it, though. They don't know them from, rubbing elbows with the who's who. And just like Martell said, they wanted to be them lightweight. That's why they relishing in the demise of Holt and Holt. You know what I mean? The marriage, the businesses, all of that. They laughing about it. And they're laughing at Martell because Martell is the pitiful one. They laugh behind his back. They talk mess because he ain't got his builder's license, and he's on his knuckles a little bit more. Well, not a little bit, a lot more. Marceau had to loan him some money, obviously. He brought that up. He threw that in his face, just like Mel told Martell, they laughing in your face, or behind your back, rather. And Martell got tongue-tied. I'm tying a lot of episodes together, but, Martell got tongue-tied because it was true. He did loan you some money because you was on your knuckles. You know what I'm saying? And it brings me to another thing, and I know I'm all over the place, guys, but just hear me, because all this stuff ties together. You flip back and forth with this episode, with this character, that character. It makes me think about the other day. What was that, last Monday, when Destiny had to go to court, turn herself in, and after the fact, she was doing these lives and stuff, or maybe was it an older live? I can't remember, but I know I ended up seeing when she went and turned herself in, I seen a clip of her saying, when you get divorced and you file bankruptcy, nobody lands on their feet, and nobody's doing well after they do bankruptcy. Just because you didn't, Destiny, you didn't have much going on before the bankruptcy. I mean, no shade. She had the Madani thing or whatever. I think she cashed herself out on that. And that's what sometimes people do. They cash themselves out on a business that, but they know that they about to go hard on. I don't know how hard Destiny was going. I want to say not that hard, though, because while she was on that platform, that's all she should have been talking about every day. Every scene was Madani. I'm going there. I'm about to leave. I'm closing up. I got this product, this, that, putting it out there. You know what I mean? She wasn't talking about it that much. I mean, she talked about it and we saw it, but every chance she gets, she was supposed to be promoting. You see how Melanie always coming around with some type of t-shirt on, either in Fifth Avenue or one of her other t-shirt from a t-shirt line. She got constantly advertising, which is what Marceau does now. He constantly has on a black t-shirt, trying to promote his business, even though he does not really care about the product business, but he try to promote them t-shirts. He try to promote that business. So yeah, these people, they just, I don't know. Kimmy and Maurice, he talked about his sex life yet again with his brother in the last episode. He basically, in my opinion, truly do have a sex addiction of some sort, or a fetish. You know what I'm saying? He goes to get Kimmy some Jeep that she wanted. Okay, he gets her the Jeep. Okay, fine. He out there talking to his brother, saying, they went from 4 times a month to down to 2 times a month. I cannot believe that this woman was sitting up here having sex 4 times a week. I'm sorry. I think I said 4 times a month earlier. No, 4 times a month, 4 times a week rather, having sex. That's a lot. That's a lot. That's a lot. That's a lot. That's a lot, especially if you got a guy that takes a long time. Like, he take a long time to get going. He takes a long time to get done. Like, all that time you doing a lot of, you know how sex is. It takes a lot. It takes a lot of energy. It takes a lot of energy. And for her to have been on chemo and radiation, I know she ain't got all her strength back completely. I know she talks to her doctor. Doctor says it's okay or whatever. But, I guess her doctor said it was okay to have sex. I guess, But that's a lot. That's a lot. 4 times a week, every week. And I know it was every week. And now it's down to 2. And he about to lose it. And he said that he hurt his back or whatever, and he took the dang on brace off. And this man, out of his own mouth, said he'll give anything to get some ass. Like, he talking about a bee on the street. Like, oh my God, I couldn't believe that. He said he'll do anything to get some ass. Oh my God. What is wrong with him? That ish was funny. That was crazy. When he said that. That blew my mind. Like, he's just talking about a bee on the street. He'll do anything to get it. Even your brother thought it was elaborate. Like, that was way too much. Anyway, I can't believe you even got the time to do that like that. That's why he was like, do you have a job? But anyway, yeah. The Scott brothers are a mess. They got their wives under spells. Letitia is under her spell. Kimmy is under her spell. She might not be as delusional as Letitia, but it's coming. It's coming because Kimmy get along, however that go. How does it go? She gets along to get along, if that's how it goes. In other words, she's conforming to the Scott clan, to the candy-coated Scott clan. She's conforming. You know what I mean? She was already at odds with Letitia and Miss Wanda. What was that? Two seasons ago. And I believe her husband had a talk with her like, look, y'all family, y'all sisters. That's all, y'all two is all y'all got, or whatever. He talked to her. He basically persuaded her to be more on board to get along with Letitia. And that's exactly what she's doing, to a fault. Like, she'll take up for Tisha and ride for Tisha even when Tisha was wrong, which is what Tisha wanted her to do in the beginning. Right? Tisha wanted her to take up for her and be on her side even if she lying. And Kimmy was like, I'm not doing that. That's not how I am. I'm not cut from that kind of cloth. But now she is. And I believe it's because her husband told her to be. And, she conformed. Now she rides for Tisha to the death. So yeah, it's really, really convoluted. It's really, really convoluted on all angles. Everybody is just all over the place. And then, have you guys noticed Stormy? Stormy, she likes to make it a point that she can be around Mel without even acknowledging her, without having to talk to her, not being mad. ain't being happy to see her, but I ain't mad at her either. She's just there. I don't notice her. And it's like, girl, why? But Mel did her one better, because Mel acted like she wasn't there either. Mel sitting there playing domino. It seemed like she was playing dominoes, but it was really cards. But she was acting like she was playing dominoes. That was how her demeanor was. That's what it gave to me. Like, she should have been saying dominoes, Emma. But she was playing cards. But she sat right next to Stormy, like Stormy wasn't even there. I ain't got to acknowledge you either. I ain't got to look at you. I ain't got to talk to you. I ain't got to say ish to you. It's like you're not even here. I'm still integrating and conversating and talking to my friends, people that I know and have been known before we even knew you existed. You know what I mean? I dealt with these people before the show even became to fruition. So yeah, you on my territory, you on my grounds, you on my show, regardless if I'm executive producing every single episode or not. Because, that's another narrative they was pushing out there that somebody started, that Mel and Martell are not even executive producers of the show anymore. Lately, I haven't noticed their names, but, the credits fly by so quick, I don't even notice nobody's name no more anyway. But even if they're not executive producing every single episode, it still was Mel's brainchild that she brought to Carlos King, and Carlos King picked it up along with some other production companies. And that's how they were able to bring it to life. So, whatever. What else do I want to talk about? Yeah, I don't know. They're all sick. They're all convoluted. I know Marcel would have got a hurting put on him, calling some man's wife a crackhead, basically, in front of, that woman's husband. I'm surprised that man didn't jump up and really go in on Marceau. I'm surprised. He was talking this junk, but he kind of still kept it cool. Because, the Scott brothers are not scary. Just like Stormy's husband said, they neither one of them a wolf at all. Again, they do not give off Detroit mentality at all. And I believe, just like, what was that last season when they had the big argument between the Scott brothers and, well, it was really between Marceau and Martell, but Maurice jumped in it too and was getting ready to do a 2-on-1. But you saw Martell's demeanor, and I don't even like Martell, but you saw Martell's demeanor, like he wasn't scared. He wasn't backing down, and he probably would have gotten his butt kicked because it was 2-on-1, or maybe he would have got some some good hits on him because it was 2-on-1, but he still had a mentality like F y'all too, and I'll take y'all both. That because that's just how he was thinking. His adrenaline was going, and whatever, it's on. That's how it be. He didn't do like Marceau did in this last episode, where he was jumping back and jumping around like a bunny trying to get away from Martell didn't do that. He came toward them. You know what I mean? He came toward them. Like, let's go. After Maurice stepped to him, he brought it back and stepped out and came toward them as well. But, I truly believe if it was a fight between the Scotts and Maurice and Martell, I believe that Martell would get it in on one of them. Maybe because he can't handle two, He can't handle two. He ain't Superman. He can't handle two. But I believe it was a 1-on-1. He'll get it in on Marceau. I definitely believe he'll get it in on Maurice. I do. If it was like a fight between the two Scott brothers and the two Hope brothers, I believe that the Hope brothers would beat the dog shit out of the Scott brothers. I believe that. I believe that Martell's younger brother would have told Maurice up. I believe he would have had Maurice in a fetal position because his shit is just busted. Lips, eye, all that. I believe that. Telling you, them Scott brothers is weak. And they fake. And they live off their wives. They that type of man. And that's not to be respected at all. But guys, you guys tell me what you think about this episode. Please comment if you choose. Like the video, subscribe, hit your notifications. And I do apologize if I was all over the place on this video. But like I said, I've been going through some little family issues myself for the last 2 days. So I'm a little tired. But I know I did want to talk about the episode tonight as best I could. So again, thank you for joining me. Please subscribe, please comment, please like the video, and I'll be back for another. Bye.